Disclaimer. This conversation is a fictional dramatization created for illustrative purposes and is not intended to serve as medical advice. If you or someone you know is experiencing symptoms of a mental health condition or any other concern, please consult a licensed healthcare professional or mental health specialist. Always seek the advice of qualified medical professionals for diagnosis and treatment options. David Harris, 35 years old, has lived with social anxiety disorder for years. In his quiet apartment, he sits at his kitchen table, scrolling through social media. Suddenly, a post appears, a gathering hosted by his old friends that evening. David freezes, a wave of panic washing over him. His phone vibrates. It's a text from his sister, Sarah. On the outside, he appears competent and outgoing at work. But inside, he's gripped by a paralyzing fear of judgment and rejection. This fear has isolated him, leaving him disconnected from the world. Reading Sarah's message. "Hey David, I'm going to the party tonight. You should come. Everyone's been asking about you." Placing his phone down, the thought of attending overwhelms him. His heart races, and his palms grow sweaty as the pressure mounts. He picks up the phone again, starts typing a response, but deletes it. Hours tick by. David remains at home, missing the gathering. The next morning at work, David crosses paths with his cheerful colleague, Emily. David's absence from the party hasn't gone unnoticed. Emily greets him. "David, you missed such a great time at the party last night. Everyone was asking why you weren't there. You've got to come out of your shell, man. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You're a great guy, but you're always hiding away." David forces a smile, but inside, he feels a sting of embarrassment. He wonders if Emily is right. Could his avoidance be a flaw? Mark, a close work friend who overhears, chimes in with a joking tone. "Yeah, David, you should stop being so anxious. Life's too short to be a hermit. People are going to start thinking you're weird or something." These seemingly harmless comments cut deeper than anyone realizes. They reinforce David's internal narrative, that he's weak, socially inept, or even broken for struggling with social interactions. The stigma surrounding mental health, even when unintentional, adds to his burden. David walks away, nodding awkwardly, feeling smaller and more isolated than ever. David decides he's had enough. Taking a brave step, he books an appointment with Dr. Lisa Carter, a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. Dr. Carter's office is a calming space, soft lighting, neutral colors, and a sense of safety. On the day of the set appointment, Dr. Carter greets him warmly. "David, thank you for coming in today. I understand it might have been hard, but I'm glad you're here. How can I support you?" David shifts nervously but feels a sense of relief. For the first time he can speak openly. I don't know what's wrong with me," he begins. "I feel like everyone expects me to be more confident, but I get so nervous in social situations. It's like I'm always on edge, afraid of saying the wrong thing, or that people are judging me." Dr. Carter listens intently, nodding. "It sounds like your anxiety is holding you back. Social anxiety disorder can cause intense fear of judgment or embarrassment, even in everyday interactions. But, David, your worth isn't defined by these fears. They aren't your fault, and you're not alone." For the first time in years, David feels heard. Dr. Carter reassures him that his feelings are valid and that, with the right tools, he can manage his anxiety and rebuild his confidence. Over the following months, David works closely with Dr. Carter using cognitive behavioral therapy. Together, they identify negative thought patterns that fuel his anxiety. Dr. Carter teaches him to challenge these assumptions, reframing his thoughts about others' perceptions. David learns relaxation techniques and mindfulness exercises to manage his physical symptoms. Slowly, he begins to face his fears, one small step at a time. At a small gathering with friends, David engages in conversation. For the first time, he feels a sense of accomplishment. "I actually feel okay," he thinks. "I'm doing it." 6 months later, David sits across from his sister, Sarah, in a cozy cafe. "Sarah," he says with a smile, "I've realized that I'm not broken or weak or weird. I have anxiety, yes, but it doesn't define me. David's transformation is evident. His posture is relaxed, his voice steady, and his confidence shines through. Sarah beams with pride. I'm so proud of you, David. I've seen the difference. You're really coming into your own. David feels gratitude and accomplishment. He knows his journey is ongoing, but he's rediscovered his inherent worth. Dr. Carter's compassionate care played a pivotal role in David's recovery. By providing therapy, tools, and education, she helped him challenge the stigma surrounding his mental health and embrace his value as a person. David's story is a testament to the power of understanding, support, and professional help in overcoming the impact of mental health disorders and stigmatization. Stigmatization of mental health disorders like social anxiety can severely impact an individual's self-worth, leading to feelings of inadequacy and fear of judgment. Psychiatric providers like psychiatric mental health nurse practitioners, psychiatrists, psychologists, and therapists help individuals manage and understand these disorders, providing the tools and support necessary to challenge negative self-beliefs and restore self-worth. With therapy, education, medications when indicated, and coping strategies, individuals can learn to manage their anxiety, break free from the effects of stigma, and embrace their inherent value.